Well, good morning, my friends. Welcome back to GP Outdoors. I hope you and your families are doing well. It's a beautiful fall day here today again. 15 degrees we're supposed to get up to this afternoon, so I'm going to take advantage of it. I wasn't actually going to do this video this year, but we've had so many new subscribers on the channel this year, many of who have bought the LX series Kubota, and along with the tractor, you've picked yourself up an LX series blower, along with the K-Connect and the subframe. So many of you have asked me to please do a maintenance on the snowblower, so I'm going to try my best to cover as much as I can, what I do usually every fall before the winter time, and I'm going to try to add in some pro tips, or, well, let's not call them pro tips. Let's call them GP tips, because I'm certainly no pro. But I'll go through the blower. I've had a number of years of experience. If you recall, on the 2601 I used to have a B series blower. I've learned a lot from both of them over the years. And you want to get your maintenance done early, because you do not want to have a breakdown in negative 30-degree weather when it's snowing outside, especially if you're like me and you don't have a garage. It's not a pleasant task. Let's get her underway. Get your manuals out. You should have 3 of them. Should be one for your drive system, or your K-Connect module it's called. You'll have another one for what they call the subframe, or the drive system, and you'll have one for the blower. They're good to keep handy with you when you do your maintenance, because it'll show you all the grease and lubrication points that are required on this piece of equipment. You'll get to know them over time pretty quick, but in the event that you do have any questions, keep them handy for sure. You're going to have to spin the auger so you can get this grease zerk to come up front. There we go. This one is pretty important, because once you've got this mounted on the tractor, you're going to have a hard time trying to get around the K-Connect and get it in here. So it's always great to do it now. You're going to need chain lube, and you're also going to need white lithium grease. GP tip: if you've got a gravel or a dirt driveway, you want to start the season off adjusting your skid shoes to its lowest position. In other words, you want your blower as high off the ground as possible. You don't have a lot of adjustment on these skid shoes. There's only 3 spots. It's a simple fix. You just need 1 ratchet, 1 head. These are carriage bolts. Just undo them from the other side. Make sure you have the extension for it so you can get around the auger. Undo them, drop them down to their lowest or highest point, depending on how you look at it. You want the blower as high off the ground to start as possible. When you start blowing snow, the ground is most likely not going to be frozen yet, which means you're going to start eating a lot of gravel. That's why you want them up, or you want the blower up. As the ground freezes, you get into December timeframe and you know the ground is frozen, you can come back, drop these all the way down so you can get down nice and tight. And then when the spring thaw starts, you want to readjust them and put them back down and lift the blower up again. I have the LX2980 Snowblower. This model will have 2 different shear pin locations, and both are different sizes. One is right here on the fan blade. The other one is right here in the back of the chain. GP tip: make sure you carry spare shear bolts in the tractor with you at all times through the winter. 2 different sizes. If you haven't picked them up yet, you can head off to your Kubota dealer and you can order them. You'll find the part numbers in the back of the blower manual. There's going to be 2 different part numbers, 1 for each size. And when you carry them, make sure you carry the right sockets or wrenches in the back of the tractor. Most importantly, little tip: you want to carry a punch. Pick it up at any hardware store or Princess Auto, Canadian Tire. Make sure it's a reasonable length of a couple of inches and a little thick. You're going to need this, because quite often, almost every time that you bust a shear bolt, the shaft of the bolt remains inside. And you need this to kind of poke it out. It's also really good, especially if you've got a B series blower. You'll find that the auger spins around an inside axle, and this is a great way to help you, especially when it's cold outside, to spin that auger, try to find the hole, line it up, and then you can just push your new bolt in. Super handy. Got to keep one with you. Many folks have asked me if I regularly check the gear oil level in this gearbox. I actually don't. My mechanic at the Kubota dealer told me there was no need to open this up unless I saw a reason to open it. So what I do check for is I check for leaks. Nice white tape still, no leaks. I check around it, make sure there's no leaks. If there isn't, I don't open it. This one was a little frustrating for me the first winter. If you find that your chute rotational seems to labor when you're trying to turn the chute right or left, or it looks like it wants to go, but it's hesitating and maybe jumps a little bit, but then just won't turn properly, it's one of two things. If this is your first year with the tractor, you may not realize this. One additional feature or benefit of a Kubota that a lot of the other compact tractor makers don't have, there's actually two detents on your joystick. There's the classic that every one of them has. That's you're using your loader, or in this case, the bucket, and you want to put your bucket in float, or for the wintertime, you're going to put your blower in float. You push forward, right? You have your play up and down on your loader, and then if you give it that little extra push, you can feel there's a detent. Kubotas also have a detent for the dump function. So you may know that when you're using the loader, you're going left and right because you're curling your bucket or you're dumping your bucket. There's actually a detent on the dump function. When you push over, you got that same feeling, but you got to hold it. It doesn't stay on its own. And what that'll do if you're using your bucket is it will free fall your bucket in the dump position. So it's not a managed dump. When it comes to these blowers, when they hook up to that valve body, your chute is naturally going to turn left when you pull in your joystick. When you go to push it outward to try to turn your chute to the right, it's not going to turn. You have to push it into the detent to get it to turn. It took me a while to figure that out. I thought the blower was broken. It wasn't. If that's not your trouble, then it's pretty much going to be this one. I'm sure you've investigated and you realize that the bottom of the chute has a bunch of teeth on it. It's just down underneath these black rings. In here, there's a motor with teeth on it. It's a gear motor. It grabs the teeth, and that's what turns from hydraulic pressure. That's what's going to turn your chute. My dealer made a mistake when they serviced my blower before they gave it to me. He filled the inside of these rings with grease. That's a big no-no. Grease freezes and becomes really gummy in the wintertime in the cold temperatures. So what happened to me is my chute wouldn't turn. It was laboring constantly, and in fact, the hoses were getting hot. It turned out that there was a thick layer of grease inside between these rings or these spacers. Here's what we had to do. You're going to grab your sockets and your wrenches. You're going to undo these 8 bolts, take these black rings off in the spacers, remove them. This chute will lift right off. It's a very simple process. You're going to find a ton of gummy grease in there. You're going to need a heat gun and a putty knife. And you want to scrape every little bit of grease out of there and then use some kind of a cleaner, maybe something with alcohol in it, to make sure you get all the grease off. Then put it all back together again. Geez, that took me about 6 times. You only use chain lube in that gear. You never put grease in there. Every time you're using, every 2 or 3 or 4 times you're using the blower in the winter, you're going to spray this into the chain, of course. You're also going to spray it inside, all around in there, and where the motor is. This will keep you lubricated all winter. You should never put grease in that fixture there. You're going to use chain lube to lubricate the chain on this blower. You also want to check the tension on it. If it's a brand new blower, it's your first season, it should be properly tensioned. You'll find the tolerances in your manual. I think it says it shouldn't move more than 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. If you do need to tighten it up, it's super easy to do it. There's just a quick fitting on the side. There's a bolt head here, and immediately on the other side, you're going to find the lock washer and the nut. You're going to undo them. This is attached to the small spur gear inside, and you're going to adjust. As you see here, I've pushed mine down. That was the original spot, and we just did this at the end of last winter. That's why it's still tight, and that's why I don't need to do anything with it today. But you're just going to want to undo them, push it down so that the spur gear puts pressure on the chain, get your right tension that you feel comfortable with, and then you can tighten back the bolt and you're good. GP pro tip: if your blower came like mine did, you're going to have a minimum of 4 hydraulic hoses to connect to your main valve body on the tractor. And in my case, I also have a hydraulic chute deflector, so I actually have 2 more hoses. The trouble was there was no color coding. You can go to Amazon, Princess Auto, I think Canadian Tire has them, Napa, any type of store like that, and you can pick up really cheap these different colored either cable ties, or you can get these little rings. And I just got colors that corresponded to the colors on the valve body on the tractor. That way every winter I don't have to guess which one is going to which connection. They all line up. It just makes it a whole lot easier when you're out in the cold. And hey, I know I'm a bad example, but you might want to wash your blower too. I use Spray 9, works great on the carbon. That is when I actually clean it. think it'd probably be a little easier if I had an air compressor here at the cottage just to blow out these connections, but so something new that I'm doing with my maintenance before the winter this year is I'm going to grab my sockets and my wrenches and I'm going to try to check every single one of these hydraulic connectors, or I guess they call them couplers. Because last year, if you were watching the channel, you'll remember just towards the end of the winter, I had a problem with the blower. It kept floating down to the ground very quickly. Like literally it would take 15 minutes. I'd get out of the tractor, I'd come back, and the blower was sitting on the ground, which tells me that something was loose or there was some kind of a leak somewhere in the system. Because it doesn't happen with my loader arms in the summertime. It only happened with the blower. You may recall my wonderful neighbor Guy got down on his hands and knees and on his back, and he had to crawl under the tractor with a couple of wrenches, and he went around checking all of these connections and he found one of them was loose. So just to kind of preempt it this winter, part of my maintenance today is I'm just going to go around with my wrenches and I'm just going to check every one of these connections to make sure that I don't have anything loose before the winter. And then hopefully I won't suffer that float down as quick. Wherever you need to grease, you're usually going to see a little yellow label that looks like this. It tells you that there's a grease zerk or a lubrication point. However, not every one of the spots has a sticker, so you may want to check with the manual to make sure you're getting them all. Once you've done it once or twice, you'll remember where they are. There aren't that many of them. You just want to make sure that before the winter comes, you want everything greased, everything lubricated, so that you don't have any breakdowns, or at least it'll minimize the number of breakdowns you get through the winter. Okay, I hope that helped, or you guys could tell what I did there. In order to reach the zerk on this crosshair, for lack of better words, I'm not sure what it's properly called, this joint, you can't get to the zerk unless you disconnect this little wee shaft. And in order to get enough length, you have to pull your connection forward with the lever that you would normally use to engage the blower. That way you get extra length. That then allows you, hopefully you guys can see this, for me to pull this out and then put it back on. And that, my friends, completes the maintenance on this blower and this subframe. Quick GP tip. If you haven't heard of this stuff yet, you should try it out. Like maybe I'm late to the party and all you guys have this stuff. It's an oil and grease cleaner for your hands and your body. This one is Gojo, it's called. There's a lot of different brands. They all kind of look like this in an orange jug with a pump. If you're going to pick it up, you can pick it up pretty much anywhere, I think, hardware store, Canadian Tire, etc. But you want to get the one that's called pumice hand cleaner. There's some that has, the pumice is like a grit, and they make it two different types. They make it without the pumice, which is just a cream, and they make it with this pumice. This is way better for cleaning the grease and the oil off your hands. Little tip though, don't wet your hands first. Just pump this stuff in after you get all greased up from lubricating the blower. Clean your hands, get it all off, wipe it off with a paper towel, then wash the rest out with water. If you get your hands wet first and try to use it, I've found it does not work as well. I don't think it mixes well with the water. But it's great stuff to have in the shop or sitting in the back of the shed. A little too deep with the pallet forks. Anyways, that wraps it up for me. I'm all set up now for the cold winter. You'll see here I've put the subframe down right to the side of where I parked the tractor, and I leave the blower in here in the back of the shed. That way when the winter comes and it's time, I can just come in under shelter. I just drag the subframe underneath the tractor, hook everything up, and then I just push into the blower, hook it up, and I'm good to go. And hey, I get a roof over my head. Thank you so very much for sticking around today. For all you folks that have the new LXs, and this is your first year or second year with your blower, you're gonna love the blower. They're awesome. They work really, really well. And it'll take you no time at all to get it managed, and you'll be an expert in no time on the driveway. Have a great week with your families. Please be kind to one another, and I'll see you again right here. I'm Gord Potter, and you've been watching GP Outdoors. Cheers.